Hey, and welcome to another episode of Cryptid Conversations. Today we have a lot of people here. So, hi, you know me. I'm one of your hosts, Brenna. We also have
Austin. Ted.
And then we have our guests,
Neji.
Jesse.
And
Hunter.
Awesome. Okay, so as usual, we have our disclaimer. On this podcast, we do talk about cryptids, when we are going to make some jokes and we're going to have some laughs, but we are not laughing at the cultural significance that a lot of these creatures have. So, you know, the jokes are on us and us alone, and yeah. So today we're talking about a personal favorite, Spring-heeled Jack. Boy, is he fun. Okay. Oh, man. All right, let's get right into it. So he has a lot of groupings. So he is grouped as a demon, a phantom, a hoax, and a phantom attacker.
Ooh.
And he is very specific regionally. He's only from the United Kingdom, ranging between London and urban Liverpool. So I think, should we get into the sightings first or how he looks?
How he looks.
Okay, all right. So there are a couple different ideas of how he looks. So here's the general list I have. He's described as terrifying and frightful, diabolical, with clawed hands,
Ooh.
eyes that resemble red balls of fire,
Ooh.
a black cloak, and underneath that cloak is a helmet and a white oilskin, which I don't know what that is. Maybe that's historical.
It's like a raincoaty thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's the devil.
Yeah, he is
It's the devil,
actually,
yeah, exactly.
actually the next thing is devil-like.
Okay.
He's tall and thin. Some say he was quite gentlemanly.
Okay.
He breathes blue and white fire, and he speaks comprehensible English.
Okay.
Okay, so let's get into the sightings. So I'm going to talk about, a couple sightings here. So the first claimed sighting was in 1837. Later sightings took place all over Great Britain, especially prevalent in suburban London. He was also in the Midlands and Scotland, and the last reported sighting was in Liverpool in 1904. So I think, okay. So we have one sighting here. In October 1837, Mary Stevens was walking to Lavender Hill where she worked. On her way through Clapham Common, a strange figure leapt at her from the alley. He immobilized her and began holding her tightly and began to kiss her face and undress her while touching her flesh with his claws. In a panic, she screamed, making him flee. The commotion launched a search, but he was never found. The next day, he chose a different victim nearby. He jumped in the way of a passing carriage, causing the coachman to lose control, crash, and severely injure himself. Several witnesses claimed he escaped by jumping 9 feet high and babbling with a high-pitched, ringing laughter.
Lord.
Wow.
Okay, so we have
Troublemaker.
2 more sightings which kind of go together, and these are the infamous Spring-heeled Jack cases. So these are what kind of leapt him into the public eye, and they're the Alsop, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, and the Scales cases. So the Alsop case we'll get into first, which was widely covered by the newspapers. On February 19th, 1838, Miss Alsop answered the door to a man claiming to be a policeman. He claimed that he had caught Spring-heeled Jack, and so she brought him a candle, and she noticed his cloak. When she gave him the candle, he threw off his robe and presented a most hideous and frightful appearance. Flames, fiery eyes, the regular thing. He caught hold of her and tore her gown with his claws. She ran back into the house. He caught her on the stairs and tore her neck and arms. She then got into the house further and was rescued by one of her sisters. And then we also have, shortly after, the Scales case, which was February 28th, 1838. So this is just 10 days later about. Lucy Scales and her sister were walking home from visiting their brother at his house in a town called Limehouse. They passed Green Dragon Alley, which Harry Potter, or what? Anyways, that was rude. I'm sorry. If you know anything, if you have any connections to this victim, I'm so sorry. But anyways,
that'd be like somebody's great grandpa.
Yeah. Anyways, they were passing Green Dragon Alley and they saw somebody standing in the street. She walked ahead of her sister, Lucy did, and just as she came up to the person, who was wearing a large cloak, by the way, he blew a quantity of blue flame in her face, which blinded her. She dropped to the ground and was seized with violent fits for several hours. Her brother heard the screams from down the street, because they had just left his house, remember, and ran to them. And Lucy was on the ground, seizing, and her sister was trying to support her. They were taken home. Lucy's brother and sister made the police report. So the description in this police report said that he was tall, thin, gentlemanly, covered in a large cloak, carrying a small lamp or a bullseye lantern similar to the kind used by police, but the culprit was never found.
He's the devil.
Yeah,
This is the whole
this is
demon.
devil.
That's a demon.
I do not like this man.
That's a
Devil.
demon. I don't like
No
him.
good.
So we do have some theories.
Okay.
So
The
some
devil.
say it was just a mass hysteria boogeyman. Some say that it was not a supernatural creature, just a people with a macabre sense of humor. And then we have
And the devil.
we have that he was
Speaking of which, it sounds like the devil's
yeah, he's
trying
around.
to get in. Yeah.
We have that he was an alien, thus would explain his superhuman agility, and or a demon summoned by the practitioners of the occult.
That's the one.
Devil.
Wait, but then we
Yeah.
also
Devil.
have one that actually says that it was a specific man, that could have been a specific man, the Marquis of Waterford. He had bad experiences with women and police officers in the past and quite often. He frequently was in the news for drunk fights, brutal jokes, and vandalism. He was rumored to do anything on a bet and was in the London area at the time of the attacks.
Ooh, that kind of sounds
He
like.
was also known for being quite strong and had connections with the police.
But
Maybe
was
he
he
be-
9
Didn't
feet
he, like-
tall?
This said he can jump 9
9
feet.
feet.
Oh.
But I thought
Even then.
Maybe-
the physical description was that he was 9 feet tall too. No.
But how would that explain the fire? Maybe he had connections
no.
with the devil.
No,
Like maybe
I
he
got that
sold
wrong.
his soul to the devil.
Well,
He could
No,
still
but-
be devil.
yeah.
But it was
He
blue
could still
fire.
be the devil. You're right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it was blue
Sans.
fire, so it wasn't like just regular fire. You can like throw fire out.
That's
It
what I'm
was like,
saying. He
yeah.
got connections with the devil,
Yeah.
or he is the devil.
It made it was blue fire.
Wait, how tall was?
There
Person?
isn't a
I
description
was
of how
just wrong
tall
about
he is.
that.
It
Just
says,
tall.
Yeah, it says he's just tall.
And they had claws.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the claws.
Clawed
It
hands.
sounds
hands.
almost like a cheetah.
Yeah.
A what?
Edward Scissorhands, but
A
the devil.
ghoul. If you know about like the ghoul and like the Arabic ghoul and all that,
Oh.
it kind of sounds the same, at least claw-wise, and being
Yeah.
able to jump and all that.
I know what you're thinking of. What is
The
that
the super
called?
like pale. It's called a ghoul. That's all it is. GHUL.
No, there's another name for
Slender.
it.
Wendigo is another one, but that's.
No.
Wendigo is
different.
different. Wendigo is different. We'll
Slender.
probably talk about that soon. So yeah, what are you guys' thoughts on this? Other than it's the devil.
He's the devil. But also, if we're going off of, I'm trying to like piece together how it could possibly be just a dude,
Yeah.
and because I'm trying to remain as the skeptic side of this.
Yeah,
but
Jesse, you're a skeptic, right?
Yeah. I'm very
Okay. So we have two skeptics
So-
today.
I mean, him blowing fire, I feel like could be a.
Cause like there are people
All
who
I'm
blow
picturing,
fire.
no,
so-
all I'm picturing is like
The
having,
little
he has a
sticks,
match
yeah.
and he has an aerosol can. But aerosol cans.
Aerosol
They,
Yeah,
they also
ancient
don't change the
lady-
color
But
of
like
fire.
you know, it's
And
a
a time
talent to
machine.
blow fire.
He
yeah.
needed a time machine.
Well,
so
but there was that
yeah.
one where he was carrying the lamp, and
Yes,
the lamp, all
oh,
lamps
yeah.
had a candle.
Okay, but how does he jump 9 feet?
And
Maybe
how
that's
is the
just
lamp
Maybe
blue?
that's
Like,
because
how is the fire blue? How you change the color?
I feel like him jumping 9 feet could be a.
Well, chemicals, because as I
Like
learned in
an
chemistry, if you have certain
exaggeration,
types of
and blue
chemicals
fire.
on a stick, you can really just if you like were to spray it,
Fire's really hot. It's blue,
Yeah.
I think, right?
Yeah, if it's really hot, like chemical is really hot, it can make the fire.
Like, did the person have like the
Like,
one with the fire?
if we
Did they
had
have
a
any
good
burn?
chemistry class last year, wouldn't we have made blue fire?
no.
Blue
Maybe
fire
fire.
is like hot
No,
fire.
but it said that the fire blinded her and put her into seizures.
That's how blue was.
So humanly, you
It
have
was
to be able
just
to make a
that
fire
Right, blue.
Blue enough to
without
give you
using any
seizures.
chemicals.
Well, and she had a witness. Like her sister was there.
Well,
Yeah, and her brother. And
It
Oh,
could
her
also
brother
be,
came
maybe
later,
it could
like,
also be
after.
Yeah, her brother's
something
when her
physical with
brother
her.
came, she was
Maybe
on
the
the
light
ground
could have
seizing.
been like the light from the fire could have been really bright, giving her the seizure. Not really just like, oh, it's a devil.
Could also be like
Mm.
shock, you know?
Yeah,
Like, if
shock
I blew
from
fire
it
in
as
your
well.
face, how would you feel?
Not
A little
really.
amazed, actually.
Like,
Yeah.
whoa.
Huh.
Yeah, but just walking in the darkness like that, I probably would have been just more of a shock. Or like something more physical or going around with her than just devil.
Yeah,
and this could be like somebody's lifetime too, you know, like from the 1830s until 1904. That's just that's not a supernatural long time to live. It's just a good, healthy, long life.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 70 years.
that was a pretty long life.
Well, no, but I mean, if you made it to
like,
adulthood, people lived to be old.
Yeah.
At that time?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you made it
The average life is
if
so
you
long
made it
because so many
If you
children.
made it past
to be old.
If you made it past the age, basically.
If you made it past the age of 40, by then you were kind of getting there.
What a
You're
shock.
locked in.
I still think it's the devil.
I honestly think Spring Hill Jack is his own creature, and he's out there somewhere. And I got this idea from Cryptid Keeper, where Spring Hill Jack is a thing that's passed on. So like I don't know if you've seen My Hero Academia, but there is a power in there. There are also powers in that show, and there's a power that they can pass on. So I think it's passed on like that. And
well, why hasn't he showed up in the past 100 years?
Yeah.
that's what I'm about to get to, because the current Spring Hill Jack is Paul McCartney, and he's been using his powers for years.
What? Wait a minute, it's just like the Dread Pirate Robert, where you teach.
And he's been using his powers for good.
Run that back.
No, wait a minute. So Spring Hill Jack.
When did Paul McCartney? When was he born?
I'm not saying that.
Late 30s maybe?
I think that the people who were Spring Hill Jack between 1904 and currently have been just kind of like using their powers for good or not using their powers. It's just something that they have. Because you can't just let Spring Hill Jack die out.
Well, they did.
I mean, I'm
they
not
don't do
sure
anything
if he.
anymore.
What's
What good has
still
Paul
there?
McCartney done?
Music.
Music?
Okay, you need Spring Hill Jack powers to do that?
Yeah.
No. I mean,
Exactly.
I mean, Spring Hill Jack
Industry
was
is
pretty
pretty tough.
going.
Yeah, so how do we,
Yeah.
how do we get,
I don't even know.
Music is pretty.
yeah, why
natural.
would Paul
Yeah,
McCartney need to be
person.
Spring Hill Jack again?
It's
I don't
just the
think he would
devil.
need to be Spring Hill Jack.
Oh,
I
it
think
just
he
is.
was.
Yeah, I think he just
It's
is Spring
like-
Hill Jack, because if you think about it, he's from the UK, right?
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And
All
so
people
that
from
would
the
make
UK are
sense.
suspect right there.
No,
Wait.
no. I'm
So
saying
wait,
that Spring Hill
it's-
Jack's from the UK, and like
Well-
Spring Hill Jack is a very public figure, and Paul McCartney is a very public figure.
Paul McCartney
And, you know,
was born in 1942. So
Okay.
what do you suggest happened between 1904 and 1942?
That there was a couple other Spring Hill Jacks.
Yeah, it's like the Dread Pirate Roberts, dude. You know, every couple of years you pass it along to your understudy.
Oh, like Santa Claus in
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
And
Yeah,
what's on
yeah,
that
yeah.
one, dude?
Yeah.
Santa
Wait,
Claus.
yeah, I love Santa Claus.
Santa Claus 3: The Escape Clause featuring
Tim Allen.
Y'all
Allen.
really, y'all really like Santa.
So instead of bringing presents,
Oh, the
to
Santa
people,
Claus, yeah.
he molests people.
No,
that was
I feel like
I think the current Spring Hill Jacks are using their powers for good.
okay.
Wait,
I feel like
He
the
was
first
a
two
whole
cases
sexual assault.
Yeah, I don't know how you can go from bad to good,
Good.
just like that.
Well,
Because I feel like
you're recruiting
Spring Hill
somebody.
Jack is a power.
Yeah.
No, okay, but I feel like
Paul
with the
McCartney's
power
Jack
comes
and-
the personality.
Yeah. So like if you're really teaching, if he was like that, he has a little understudy teaching it. What do you think he kind of come up to?
Maybe he wasn't taught. Maybe it's like
Yeah.
for example,
Well, because it's Claus.
for example, with Santa Claus, Tim Allen Santa Claus was not taught how to be Santa Claus.
No, you have to
He
learn how to be Santa
had to
Claus.
learn.
He also transformed into him.
Yeah.
So maybe
But that was just physical.
Paul McCartney is
Mentally too.
either one, he's molesting people on the low.
No.
No.
It's not. No.
God, no.
No.
I think
No.
it's more likely he was not taught by the previous.
I
think
well,
it's very
is this a
Paul
bit
McCartney.
counseling or like a reincarnation thing?
Please don't sue us, Paul McCartney.
All right, no, wait a minute, hold on. If
Like
Paul
a-
McCartney is listening to this podcast, first of all,
We are so
wow,
sorry.
Yeah.
wow, and second of all,
Please don't
would
sue
you
us.
be a
I'm fighting
guest
for you.
on our
Like, you
podcast?
should be a guest.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
a better.
Whether or not you're encrypted in any kind
We want to
or
see
just,
you.
even if we just like Skype you in or whatever, and
That'd be
you know,
great.
Yeah, we love you, Paul McCartney.
you can play us
Stand.
any one of your songs, even one that you
Oh
know.
my God.
We stand.
Yeah,
Yeah, we love you.
so that'd be nice.
Yeah, please don't sue us.
Yeah.
I'm fighting for you.
Or kill
I
us.
believe you're good.
You know what though? Even if like
I just don't think
even if
it's
Paul
very
McCartney sues us, imagine the fact
Yeah.
that Paul McCartney knows
Yeah.
all
Publicity.
about his
Wow.
podcast to sue
I'd be
us. I
like,
mean, that's
Mom,
kinda,
I got
any
you.
attention is good attention kind of thing.
Yeah.
I guess.
I don't know, I'm a big fan. Anyway.
So are there any more? Does anybody have any other thoughts?
I think it's just all natural. People are just thinking.
I think it's
I
just
like-
Boogeyman?
The first two cases are not connected to the rest of it.
Yeah.
I feel like the first two cases started it, but then somebody took up the mantle and kind of turned it into its own thing. Without
Like
So the first two kind
well, the
of.
first two were kind of just like somebody going around and like.
This
No,
is
I-
what we
Yeah,
said
the
about
first two were
the
rape.
third one
crawlers
was like
too.
they physically harmed
Oh,
somebody.
Yeah. So, like, are you saying someone had done it and then another guy saw it and was like, I want to try this?
Yeah, because
Okay.
like they take
That's what
stories
it's
and they make you go like,
Yeah,
you know,
because
You
they're
were
like,
saying that about
I want to be,
um,
I want to be like this person.
Oh, you're like, I'm gonna be
I want-
nice.
Yeah.
So back to the
Okay.
Marquis of Waterford.
Mhm.
Do you think that he heard about this boogeyman hoax? Like it wasn't real in the beginning, and then he took it up later?
Probably.
Because they were in the same area, the Scales and Alsop cases.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That was
Okay, so do we have any more thoughts before we get into reading it? All right,
so.
so I'm going to explain how our rating system works. Hunter and Jesse have never heard of our rating system. For our rating system, we rate our cryptid for the episode on a range of dateability. For Mr. Koine, it's platonic. It can be platonic for you too. And it's, would you take him out for dinner? And if so, where would you take him and why? So,
how far into a relationship would you
Would you
go?
go?
And like on a
Yeah.
scale of 1 to 10,
yeah.
and
so-
remember, keep it G-rated.
Yeah.
If you're
Yeah.
like,
So
what
what-
is 10?
10 is
10
like,
is like
dang, that's the love of my life.
10 is
10
good.
is like you
Yeah.
take them to
And-
Longhorn and you marry them. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
And
not-
one to be
I'm
like
not
contracted
very
wedding
into
at like Las Vegas.
Cheesecake.
Yeah, no, you live a very long, respectable life.
And zero is like, I'm ready.
So,
Okay.
Austin, why don't you start us off?
Okay, well, he's a rapist, so I'm gonna have to go with no. No dating.
Good for you. Good.
No date, no. I'm not even gonna make eye contact with them. I'm gonna give them, at best, they might get a big old frowny face. But,
Okay, can I go?
Yeah.
So they said he was gentlemanlike. So I feel like you probably find him on like a Tinder, right?
Oh,
Yeah, looking all nice.
No, on Christian Mingle, you would find him on Christian
Looking
Mingle.
all nice,
You find him on Tinder.
Japanese.
You find on Tinder and you swipe right? And then you have a conversation, and then you'd be like, get weird vibes. You're like, no. And then like your
Oh,
friend
like
would be
he's a
like,
nice
I went on a date with him, and he tried to molest me, and then I would go on a date.
he also seems like he also
Jacob
seems like the kind of guy that would, along with that, be like, say you stopped messaging at him after you were
He
like,
comes
he's kind of
after
weird.
you.
And he like messaged, was like,
Yeah.
oh, women are terrible and I hate them and
Yeah.
Whoa.
So,
Next thing
no
you know-
date for him. I probably swipe right.
That's a Fedora.
I swipe right because he
He looks
they said he's gentlemanlike, so I swipe
Yeah.
right. But after that, it's just like the conversation would be icky, so
Done deal.
no date.
How do you use those claws on the?
I mean, you text like this,
you kind of use one finger.
Maybe he like goes like this, and she does a little.
a little. Ooh, yeah. But you know what? I have really long nails.
Yeah, it's text to speech.
Oh.
Siri.
Okay. I got you.
Well, I keep him as a friend. You never know something.
He's a rapist.
he's a rapist.
Wow.
No, okay, but he
Wait,
breathes
wait
fire.
a minute, Jesse, are you inviting Team Spring Jack on your side as impossible? Is that what you're saying?
Oh. Wow, kind of put words in her mouth, but yeah.
Yeah, basically.
He's not denying it.
Basically, that's kind of what I was going
Now
for.
that you brought it up.
You never know who you'll need on your side. Yeah.
But I don't think Springfield Jack is a very effective hitman.
Yeah, he's not very good.
I mean, yeah, he hasn't been caught,
He's not
and
very
he
effective.
slits throats.
No, he doesn't.
Right?
Like,
No.
he
I thought he
caught a
was
lady
close.
who ran
No,
up the
he
stairs and
was
got
caught.
away from him.
He
That's
was
not
caught.
very well. It seems like people with
You know, if you're going through generation of different
He's
people, I can always
getting
teach
better
him.
now too.
Yeah, he's very different now. I can always teach this one
Yeah, if it's Paul
to be my
McCartney,
future
it's
hitman. You never know.
Yeah.
That's like metal
That's
song.
respectable. That's
Let me
respectable.
revise my rating. If it's original Springfield Jack,
No,
but Paul McCartney, long,
Yes.
loving marriage.
Yes.
No, it just depends on which one we have at this
Prenup,
current
no
time and
prenup,
moment.
doesn't matter. Yeah.
Or Mr. Ted.
Swane,
Why
Swane,
are you
Kanye.
guys hitting on me? I just want to know.
Brenda, you can go. You're the host.
We gotta get Kanye Swane.
Yeah, what's your rating, Mr. Koine? Since
I-
I'm, not good enough.
Yeah, I'm totally. I did not
Yeah,
shut you
that's
down.
yes.
Brenda, when you're done. I would definitely not even want to meet the bad one, but the modern version who is a former Beatle.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So we got 0 on the one hand, 10 on the other. Paul, if you're listening, just,
Give us an email.
We're always open. Come on.
Conversations@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Also, Hub Choir Cosmetics. You can
Oh my God. Absolute genius. Absolute genius. I'm so proud of you. As your entrepreneurship teacher, I am so proud of you.
I know this thing was fun.
Hey, Hunter, what's your deal?
Okay, so the original one, you like it.
two? Where does he get the two?
He gets the two because like he doesn't talk a lot. So like he's just like somebody to have his back. It's like you don't know if you need somebody to help you. So you're like someone friends. But like I'm not gonna like devote my whole entire time to you and like actually talk to you. Like it's gonna hang out with you.
It's not even
But Paul
fire,
McCartney,
it's blue fire.
10. Yeah. Like okay. Longhorn, but like before Longhorn, Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
we go to Chick-fil-A, we get married at the Chick-fil-A, then we go to Longhorn. All right. Reception.
You're literally a billionaire musician.
You can always go back to the UK for a little honeymoon. Go back to the UK for the honeymoon.
But it's your turn.
My turn now? That's relax.
That's relaxed.
Okay, I'm gonna give him so I think if it's original Springfield Jack from the first two cases, I'm gonna give him a solid 1 because he's a rapist, but at least he dresses well.
That's dark.
For the later Springfield Jack from the all South and Scales cases, he didn't really do much except for put her into seizures for a couple hours. So I give him a chance.
I mean, you put him in a seizure, have somebody else stab him or something.
We could go to a public area with a friend, a chaperone.
Your mom comes.
Yeah, my mom comes.
Have the police on dial.
Yeah. Brenna's mom isn't kind of scary. She definitely intimidate him enough that he wouldn't try anything.
I don't know why.
911 dial.
She's kind of intimidating. Okay.
And then if it's Paul McCartney, 11.
There you
Let's
go.
go. Call me up.
Oh, what I'm gonna do with Paul.
Please take us on a date. Paul McCartney, if you're listening to this, please take us on a date. I'll
Hit me up.
We are sorry. I'm sorry for my friends.
I'll give you a big kiss. I'll go if you want.
Alright,
So next week, what are we gonna talk about next week?
dogs.
No.
Dogs on cryptids.
Alright, maybe next week we should talk about Wendigos. That's about
We're back to
Wendigo? What's a Wendigo?
You're gonna find out next
Wendigo?
week.
Okay.
So
But there's
we'll talk about next week Wendigos.
a really good one that I found out recently. Sasquatch.
Oh my god, you know me.
Like
Batman.
Like Sasquatch, but back.
Sasquatch.
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
That's kind of like
That's
that.
right,
Yeah.
okay. So next week we'll talk about Wendigos.
Wow.
And that's our episode.
Yeah.